December the 6th, 2021 หลวงพ่อโพสีสุริยะ Khemarato Satya Dharma Reflection Don't fall in stillness, otherwise you'll be drowned in it. You will be sunken in it. Discard it. No grasping, even the non-grasping itself. The stillness is not the stillness itself. Non-attachment, even to the non-attachment itself. Non-attachment discards itself. Non-attachment does not obtain itself. Let's not disregard in the way with stillness and indifference. Don't use my or disregarding in the way of stillness and indifference. That is sunken within such a state. My that has nothing to do with my itself. My discarding my itself. My does not obtain my itself. My or disregarding. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself. Let's not be stuck with just uninvolved. No grasping, even the non-grasping itself. Let's not fall in stillness or indifference. Otherwise, it will be sunken deeply. The non-attachment is not the non-attachment. The non-attachment is not relevant to itself. It's not the non-attachment itself. Let's not involve with the non-attachment. When the act of my or disregarding turns into stillness, concentration, indifference or equanimity, it will be sunken in itself right away. It also creates realms of existence within there. This indicates that there is no unclear realization about my. There is no proficiency in the dissolvance of the my itself. It turned into realm of existence furthermore. Uninvolved itself. Uninvolved with the discarding itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Discarding the discards itself. Discarding the discards itself. Nothing is within the discarding itself. Well with it. Make a conclusion why do the movements, sitting, standing, walking. Let's not walk or move in the way with something in it. Make a conclusion why do the movements and continue in such a way. Movements that don't obtain themselves. Movements are to be performed by the essence of that which is not relevant to the non-attachment or to disregarding. With this, it will do purification. Otherwise, there will be involvement and fixation within movements, and then it will create exhaustion, And then when there is exhaustion, one will fall in stillness. From movements into stillness. This is being hit from both ways. By the uninvolved with the non-attachment itself, simultaneously with all movements. Amidst everything in the way that has nothing to do with the non-attachment itself, with the uninvolved itself. Amidst everything in the way that has nothing within the uninvolved itself, with these there will be purification for both internal and external. Those who like to drown within stillness and indifference, they are those who are like a burden. They are so sticky and heavy. It's a heavy weight, It's burdening the whole group. It is the state that always dive deeply within itself, always be sunken, and always be in realms of existence within the mind. Those who like to sit, stand, walk, or lie down, and drown in such movements, in such states, in such postures. These are those who weigh down on others. Continue in such a way of diving deeply, always continue in realms of existence within the mind. Continue in the way that has nothing within the uninvolved itself, so that there will be purification of the drowning or sunken state of stillness, indifference, and maintaining. It will purify the attempt to drown, to be sunken. Sitting comfortably in its posture is actually the sunken state. Dissolve more and more, uninvolved even to the uninvolved itself constantly. How can there be stillness and indifference through mind, through the disregarding? That which has nothing to do with mind, again and again telling you, so much exhausted with the jaw, almost changing jaw already. Still continue with stillness and indifference through mind, through disregarding. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, again and again telling you. Let's end being you. That which has nothing to do with disregarding constantly, so that there will be no obsession with swinging and swaying. Even stillness is not the stillness itself. How can there be any swing or swaying? The uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, constantly share the essence of that which has nothing to do with the non-attachment. Even ending is not about anything within itself. So don't be obsessed to swing and sway. Even stillness has nothing within itself, is not relevant to itself. Even stillness is not stillness itself. Go ahead with the essence of that which has nothing to do with disregarding, that which has nothing to do with the non-attachment. The uninvolved is not even involved with itself. Uninvolved within itself constantly, so that there will be no agitation, no restlessness. Well with it. That which has nothing to do with disregarding. Let's end the short. Let's end the desire that swing and sway. That which has nothing to do with disregarding itself, so that it will end all the short and the length. Otherwise, there's always swinging and swaying on and on. The delusive attachment and the desire that swings and sways on and on. That which has nothing to do with disregarding itself to be given to the utmost. With this, there will be purification of the extinction within itself, within its condition. The surroundings will follow accordingly. There will be simultaneous purification of extinction accordingly. Non-attachment within itself. Go ahead. Disregarding the disregarding itself. So that Nirodha will be fully there. Purification of extinction will be fully there. Involved with disregarding itself to the utmost. Disregarding that is not relevant to itself. Purify the stillness and indifference well. Purify realm of existence well. Stillness and indifference is realm of existence. Purify it well. Dissolve realm of existence well. Brighten out in the way that has nothing to do with itself, disregarding in the way that has nothing to do with itself, the brightness that has nothing to do with itself. With this, it will be the purification of the emptiness without traces. With the involvement and fixation to anything, there is no purification already. Instead, it's turned into that which is arising and ceasing on its own. To be obsessed with fixation and involvements, there is no purification. It turns into samsara instead. Uninvolved within itself right away. Don't make oneself full, being full within states of mind, within merits and wholesomeness. Don't be full with anything whatsoever, Even uninvolved has nothing to do with itself. Even non-attachment is not non-attachment itself. Even disregarding is not about anything within itself. Therefore, don't be obsessed to sit and lie down, being full with anything. That will become realm of existence entirely, with such a way. This is not about being obsessed with one's own nation, one's own realms, on and on. This is not about being obsessed with each one on one's own, even the uninvolved, even not involved with itself. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself. Don't be obsessed with each one on one's own nation. That is limited. It is collective desire, collective delusion, and collective delusive attachment. Don't be obsessed with each one on one's own. It is narrow. It is being specific on desire, delusion, and delusive attachment. So don't be deluded to particularity. Even expansiveness is not relevant to itself. Even the emptiness is not relevant even to itself. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, continue with the purification. Continue with the purification, uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself. Don't use stillness and indifference to be realm of existence within the mind. Uninvolved with the disregarding itself constantly. It's not about anything within the uninvolved itself constantly. A lot of sunken states, being sunken within stillness, indifference, and then it will be sleepy and drowsy. This is not diligent to conclude, to purify the conclusion itself. This is laziness. Being obsessed with something within oneself, fixation to oneself, on and on about oneself, being delayed, not enough, but weighing down on others as well. Being obsessed with fixation and involvement, on and on, not enough as delaying, but also weighing down on the groups, burdening to the group. Uninvolved even within itself, uninvolved discarding itself. The uninvolved is not about anything within itself. With this, it will purify the desire that is swinging and swaying. Even stillness is not stillness itself. How can there be any swinging and swaying? Even no is not no itself. Even no is not about anything within no itself. No is not even no itself. So don't be obsessed to deludedly yes and no with anything. Even no is not no itself. Don't be obsessed to deludedly yes and no, on and on. Being obsessed with yes and no with anything, This is like being deluded to circle around, to be trapped within oneself, which is not enough, but also leading others to be trapped as well, to be in a circle as well. Even uninvolved itself is not about anything within itself. uninvolved even within itself, so that it will end all the short and the length, so that there will be no more swinging and swaying, ending all restlessness and agitations. Disregarding within itself, so that there will be no easiness or difficulties within disregarding. By the eng Loei, by disregarding within disregarding itself, then there will be no difficulties or easiness at all. Don't fall in stillness, otherwise there will be solely swarmed. This is like being obsessed to be like an egg yolk, surrounded by the egg white, surrounded by the eggshell. Being obsessed with oneself amidst samsara. There is no dissolvence, there is no purification without traces. Falling in stillness will not bypass. That which has nothing to do with disregarding, so that it will dissolve stillness and indifference. It will be purification of emptiness without traces automatically. Uninvolved within itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Conclusion that purifies itself continues so. Purify samsara through the conclusion that purifies itself. Non-attachment even to the non-attachment itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself constantly. Uninvolved purifies itself. So now, being you will be over. Disregarding even the disregarding itself, disregarding discards itself. Disregarding doesn't obtain itself. This is called self-purification. The states of minds or conditions of minds purify themselves. Disregarding doesn't obtain itself. Disregarding doesn't obtain itself. This is mind that is not about mind. Mind that is not about attempting to mind. Disregarding that is not attempting to disregard. Non-attachment that is not non-attachment itself. It's not about attempting to non-attached. So then there will be purification. With this, there will be purification of self. Otherwise, there will be an obsession of fixation to it. Always you fixated to it. Let's purify you. Disregarding even the disregarding itself. Disregarding that is not about anything within itself. With this, you be beyond profoundness to the truth that Buddha is not even Buddha itself. This is will be beyond shallowness or profoundness. Disregarding even the disregarding itself more powerfully, huh? With this, there will be dissolvement of you, yourself. right away.
ไม่เกี่ยวแม้กระทั่งไม่เกี่ยวเอง
Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself.
อย่าแค่ไม่นะอย่าไป
Don't
แค่
be
ไม่ลูก
limited
ไม่
to
ไม่ต้อง
just
ไม่เอง
my
ลูก
or disregarding even the disregarding
นั่น
itself.
แหละที่เรียกว่าไม่ไม่เอา
This
ไม่
is
เอง
called
อะ
mind that doesn't
ไม่
obtain
ไม่
mind
เกี่ยวกับไม่
itself,
เองอะนั่นแหละไม่แม้
mind
กระทั่ง
that
ไม่เอง
has nothing to do with itself.
อย่าไปแค่ไม่นะ
Don't be limited to just mind or disregarding.
แต่แค่ไม่มันไม่ดับ
To
ล้าง
be
สังสารวั
limited
ฏห
to
รอก
just disregarding, that is no purification to the extinction for samsara.
เกี่ยวกับไม่เองในโลกดี
Uninvolved with the disregarding
ๆ
itself,
จะดับ
where
ล้าง
with
วัฏ
it,
ว่างล้างสังสารวัฏพร้อมกันไปเลย
then there will be purification of emptiness and extinction simultaneously with everything.
นั่นแหละยุติสมุทัยฉับพลันละ
This is instantaneous ceasing of samutai, cause of suffering and suffering.
เองเลยที่ลูกไม่อะยุติสมุทัย
Disregarding
ฉับพลัน
within
เลยยุติ
itself,
สังสารวัฏ
this
ฉับพลั
is
นเลย
ceasing the samutai for samsara instantaneously. It is ceasing the samutai of samsara instantaneously.
ไม่เอาไม่เองเลยลูกไม่เอาไม่เอง
No
เลย
obtaining
อย่าแค่ไม่
disregarding itself. Don't be limited to just disregarding. Disregarding that doesn't obtain itself. Huh?
ไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งไม่เอาเอง
No grasping, even the non-grasping itself. Where with it?
อย่าแค่ไม่ลูก
Don't be limited to just mind. Mind is not mind itself.
ไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่เองเลย
Uninvolved with mind itself.